back and welcome to my channel. Today is the second part of a three-part project that I'm doing with Jemima Puddle Duck. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make all the flowers, foliage and scrolls to decorate our project. So let's get started. Right, for our first flower for the Jemima project is this one. It's really simple but looks really elegant. I'm using some thread pollens in the centre. So let's get started and I'll show you what to do. So for each petal of this we need 2 blue pieces and 1 pink, and then it's wrapped in purple. Now if you want to do yours in different colours, that's absolutely fine. This is just the colours that I've chose to do for the project that I'm doing. So I need 2 of these, which is a sort of semicircle, I'd say. I don't know whether if there's another name for it, but we need 2 of those. I'll get my glue ready. Right, so I've got a half strip, which is, I'm using all the same size strips for this project, and they are 5mm, 26.5 centimetres, these ones. These are the ones that I got in the Amazon quilling buy review that I did. There's a video for that if you want to check that out. I'll link it below. So I'm just winding this up. Whoop. See, can be fiddly, but it's worth it in the end. Right, I like to try and keep it, sorry you can't see for the tail of it, I like to keep my fingers in it, it tends to try and keep the bottom straight. Right, I took it off and then just let it expand. And then once you've got it to the size that you want it, just take a bit of glue and it decides it wants to come out. So, and then we pinch either end, but we're trying to keep the bottom flat. Doesn't matter if the ends sort of bend round a little bit, because it's going to be going around the pink part in the middle. So I've got 2 of those, and then the next piece is a, a petal shape. So again, half strip of pink. Again, let it expand. A little bit of glue. There we go. And then this time I'm just going to pinch it and make it into the marquise, leaf shape, horse eye. There's all different names for this shape of quilling shapes. There's can't think of the other one. It's in the beading world that I think it's named as a horse's eye, but for us we'll call it a petal shape. So we've got all those 3. Then we need half a strip of purple. All the flowers that I'm making for this project are all going to be the same colour, so I'm trying to incorporate all 3 of them in it. So take your first semicircle, oop, not that one, then take your pink and then pop it in there, and the same with the other one. And sort of just hold it together, and then we're going to wrap it with this purple. So I'm going to tool out of the way. Now the shape of it, we're wanting to get the petals sort of pointed at one end, which is what will go into the centre, and then more rounded at the top. this first round, and then just keep going round until you've used all your strip. Just try and keep it tight as you can, then it keeps the other shapes in place while they finish drying. You can just keep pinching at the end, and you've got it to the shape that you want it to be. Now it's up to you whether if you want to put that round that way, save cutting it off, or you can snip it off. I'm going to just mould it round. There we go. So once it's in position on the project that we're going to do, you won't be able to notice the little end of the strip anyway. So for this flower we need 5 of those, so I've made 4 other ones. And you also need some thread pollens. Now I've already got them ready for today, so once the petals are dry I can just put them through. But I'll show you what to do to get them to this stage so that they're stiff. You could also use some wire to do it, but when I was doing the first ones I've not got any wire on my desk, so I just tried it this way. So these aren't the colours that I'm using, but I will use them for another project. So I've got probably I've got 6 threads there. You can use more or less, it's up to you. And then I just fold them in half, and then I just put some PVA on the threads and then twist. And then I leave it to dry. After a couple of minutes I put some more PVA on, because then this first lot gets it to stay in place, and then it dries better. And then once you've done it twice, basically they go like this, which is what I'm wanting to do. So I've got my 5 petals, and like I say, I want the pointed part on the inside. So, and then just put them in position. Put extra glue on there, didn't really need to, but hey ho. And last one, glue on either side. And there you go. And then you just let that dry, and then when it's done, you put your thread pollens through the centre, and then once it's dried a little bit, I turn it over and then put some glue on the back. Once this has dried a bit, I'll show you exactly how to do to put it back, but I just want to let you know you need to let this bit dry first before you do this. So I'll be back with the next flower. This flower that we want to make is this 5-petaled little flower. It's really simple, this one. We're doing 2 in pink and 2 in purple if you're following along. So we need 5 petals, and I've got a half strip of purple. There we go. Let it release. And then pinch at the end, and you get a little teardrop shape. Now we need 5 of those for each flower, so I've already done the other ones. Notice when I'm first putting my flowers together, I like to do them on my desk or my cork board when I do it. It's just so it can dry out. I push it further over the desk, so it's just easier if it's directly onto the desk, I think. And then just put them into the position you want them. Yep. See, I've got one smaller than the other ones, but never mind. Well, I tuck that one in under other flowers when we're using it think that's the one that I've just made actually. I didn't let it, in fact, I'll show you how to fix that. So I'm just wiping off the glue that's still there. So I'm just going to undo it. If it lets me, there we go. And just unravel it. End of the day, it's only paper. It's quite easy to fix when you do something that it's not quite right. I need you to expand a bit more now. When you do this, when you have to redo a shape, it has got some of the memory left of the original shape, you know, like if the bit like there you can see it's got a bit folded, but don't worry about that, just keep rolling it around and eventually you'll get it to do what you want it to do. Like I said, this one can go underneath, it's not the end of the world. And last one, and just pop it in, so you're making it into sort of like a star formation. And then for the centre I've used these half cup pills. They are self-adhesive, but I always like to put a little bit of glue on the back of them just for a bit of extra. And plus, if you put a blob of glue in the middle of your flower, it's got that extra adhesion to keep it together while it's drying, and then it's more firmer for when you're putting your projects together. If you haven't got these gems or the thread pollens that I've got, you can just cut out some paper or do some fringing and make a roll of fringe for your centres. Lots of different options. So that's our 2 purple and 2 pink. I'll be back with the next one. For the next flower, it's really simple, pretty much the same as the last one, it's just different shaped petals. So I'll show you how to do this. Again, 2 purple, 2 pink. You can see there's a bit of a theme coming along here. So again, half a strip of pink. Getting bits of dry glue on my fingers, so I keep a baby wipe at the side of me just to keep wiping my fingers on, just so that I don't get too much cloggy, because your paper can stick to you. So round it up, taking it off, let it expand. Now depending on how big of a petal you want and as to how much you let it expand. So I want it sort of that size. So, and then I just hold the paper down and then just do that so that the coil unfolds a little more. Bit of glue again. Oop. There we go. Smooth it on. That might actually be a little bit big, but there we go. Now if you want to make sure that they're all the same size, which I should have probably said at the beginning, you can just hold the piece up to one that you've made before if you're wanting to match them up. But in nature they don't all come exactly the same anyway, so I don't worry about it too much. So just pinch at either end and that's all there is to it. Again, that's the horse eye. I can't remember the name of it. My brain's gone blank. But anyway, that shape. So again, we need 5 of those. the shape you want. Forgot to put some glue there. Good thing about PVA, you've got some time to move them around into the shape you want. There, perfect. So again, I'm using one of these half-cut pearls. Pop it on, and there we go. So we've got our 2 pink and 2 purple. I'll be back with the next flower.
Onto our 4th flower, same shape as the last one, and I've just looked it up on Google because my brain won't bring up the name of the shape. It's called a marquis in the colouring world. So we're using this one again. This is just a 8-petal version, 4 of each colour of the pink and purple. So you've already seen how I've made these ones, but we need to make the last one so we can put our flower together.
We've got our marquis. Right, so on this one you can see we're alternating the colours. So same idea as the other ones, just alternate the colours. Last one, just slot it in. There we go. Now you could use thread pollens if you want to on this one, but I've just used another half-cut pearl. Now you just need to try and make sure that the petals are close enough together for the pearl to slot onto, which these are just fine. And the glue will go down in between the petals, so it'll give it some extra reinforcement as well as sticking our pearl on. There we go. And then once it's dried, if you've got any PVA residue that you want to get off your flowers, is just get a dry brush. This is one of my kids' brushes, and then you sort of just dab away at the glue on your project and it gets it off. So don't worry about that there's going to be any excess residue on your flowers. So I'll be back with the next one. Introducing a little bit of blue into the project. It's just a smaller version of this one that we've done. So I'll fast forward through this because you already know how to put this one together. It's just using a 1/4 strip rather than a 1/2 strip for each petal. And that's our 4 little blue flowers. I'll be back with the next one. The next flower is a little bit more complicated than the really simple ones we've just been doing. Not too complicated, or I won't be able to do it, but it just looks more intricate. These are just Malaysian flower petals that I've made and put into a flower, and we need 6 of them to make these. So for each petal you need half a strip of purple and a full strip of pink. Now I'm going to show you a trick for doing these. You don't have to do it this way. You can cut your pink strip in half to do where the wrapping with it separate, but this is the way I like to. I get it ready for when, because you need to do the teardrop bit first, but just want to explain this while it's in my head. So get your pink strip and crease it in the middle. Now what I'm going to be doing is making the shape with half of the strip, and then the other half is going to be wrapped around it. So if we get our teardrop done, pinch at the bottom, so we've got our teardrop shape again. So then once you've got the strip that you've just marked for the middle, you're going to wind up to the crease. So just keep an eye out that you don't go past that half strip mark. There we go. So I've gone up to where I've creased. Take it off your tool and let that expand, give it a little shake. Then what we're going to do is take the coil in between your thumb and your finger, then get your either a pokey tool or your quilling tool, whichever, and just push. I can see push into the middle, so it makes it into sort of a bent semicircle. So we've got that shape, and then we've got the other half of the strip. So then we're going to stick the teardrop underneath the bended semicircle, and then what we're going to do now is going to wrap it round until the end of the strip. If you don't want to do it this way, snip it off at halfway and then you can just wrap it with a half strip. I just find it's a little bit quicker doing it this way. So glue on the bottom of those just to get it to stop into the shape that you want. Now, and then just wrap around and just keep pinching it at the bottom of your teardrop shape. Again, you can snip this off or just stick it on. I'm just sticking it on because you're not going to see it because the petals are that close up anyway. You're not going to notice it. So for this flower we need 6 petals, which I've already got ready. If you like them on Blue Peter, here's one I prepared earlier. Right, so just pop them into position. You can make this into 2 halves if you find it easier to start with. Right, so for the centre of the flower we're going to be using some thread pollens. Again, I've got some lovely purple ones here, but again I need to wait until the petals have stuck together so I can pop it through, and then just join the halves together. As you can see, there's a little hole in the centre, and that'll be where we put our thread pollens through once they've stuck together a bit. So I'll be back with the next flower. A little bit more blue into our project, and this is basically using just teardrops just to make some bigger petals. This flower's got 4 petals all together, but 3 parts to each one. So as you can see, we need 2 purple and 1 blue. So I've already got one of the purple ones ready, And I seem to have missed my blue strip. Oh no, there it is. Found it. So it's a half strip for these ones. Into the bottom again. For the blue centre ones, you need it in the perfect teardrop shape, but on the purple ones at the side, you can sort of try and get them to be flat, but just sort of like they look like a half teardrop. These ones, same sort of forming. It's just because it's going around the side of the other one. So we've got our blue teardrop and 2 purple teardrops. So same idea as the other one, we're just putting 3 pieces together and then we're going to wrap a purple strip around it. Hold it for a second. And then I've just got a bit of purple strip, and these ones I'm just wrapping around twice because there's quite a lot of purple already in the flower. I don't want much more. If you want to put a full strip around, that's up to you. I just want to go around twice, and then just pinch the bottom. Just try and keep the top of this petal sort of rounded. And again, because it's quite closed in, these you're not going to see the end of the strip, so it's because I wrapped it round at the bottom. I've made it a bit too short for this one, but never mind. What will be will be. Right, so we've got 4 of those. Now I've just pushed in a finger on in between the tops of these just for a bit of added dimension to the flower. There we go. And then we're just gonna again just stick them together. There you get a lovely flower. And again, just a half cup pearl for the centre. That's it, and we've got our 2 of those flowers. I'll be back with the next one. This is one of the more intricate flowers that we've made. Well, what you need to make, sorry. And it's using a quilling comb. And there's different quilling combs. It's up to you which one. If you've got, this is just a normal hair comb, and this is one of the proper quilling ones. And I made this flower using this one. So, you need a full strip of blue, or whatever colour you're wanting to do with them. So you can see the little numbers down the bottom here. So to start off with, want it round about the middle. So I've worked it round about the 7th and 8th prong of the comb. It's round about the middle. So just slot it in just about in between the 6 and the 7. So I'll have to face it towards me because otherwise I can't do things back to front. Not when you're starting with this one, because this is probably one of the more fiddlier ones. And then you're coming out, bring the strip up in between the 7 and 8. Put that way around, you can see. So now this is the most fiddliest part of this flower, simply because it's just getting it started. You can do it this way, or you can do it by just rolling the end of the quilling strip and putting it on, but I just prefer to do it this way. So, and then I'm bending it and pressing the strip down so it stays in place where I want it to go. wrapping it around to the back. Just keep hold of the strip for now, because if you let go of it, it'll come off, and then just press strip up. Oh, it's come out. Then always keeping your thumb or your finger onto it, and then press it down at the back so you don't lose it. Then bring it back up the same one you did first time round. So, and then that's you got started. Now, to continue around with the flower, we're taking it over the next prong on the comb, like that, and then down we go. Right, you might find it easier if you keep your comb up this way. I prefer to turn it over and do it this way. I've just found that I prefer this way. So what we're going to do now is just put a tiny little bit of glue, and then we're going to take our strip, if you can see, and let's slot it in there and pop it up under the next one. Which way? That's it. So you've brought it up around the next one that's next to the centre part, and then up around the next one. Then just pull it through. Then I'll show you where it's done on the other side. So once that's stuck, you've got a loop at either side of the centre part. And you just carry on doing that until you've got 6 loops on either side. So I'll put my glue on, and it's coming back up, going down, sorry, through where the last loop finished, and then you're coming up through the next one. So this is the back of the petal that we're making at the moment. Like I say, if you prefer doing it the other way around, that's up to you, but I like just doing it this way. I find it easier. And then just carry on doing that until you've got 6 at either side. So I'll fast forward through that bit so you're not having to watch it in real time. That's it. And then what we're going to do is, I like to just press my nail into the centre and then bend it round into a teardrop shape. A little bit of glue there just to keep it stuck. And then we're just going to wrap around the remaining strip. There we go. So in total you need 5 of those to create this one. Now we're going to have the spiky or pointed side out. You can do it the other way around if you want, but this is just how I've designed this one to go. I've got some more thread pollens left for when it's dried and we put it together. So just got either side. if you want to use a cork board to pin these into shape, you can do, but I'm just doing it without it today. So then you've got your star shape. Now I can't move it or anything yet before it's fully dry, but I like to put that little blob in between each petal just to make sure that it's got some glue at the top and the bottom of where they join. You won't see this because it dries clear, but that's that. And then once it's dry, I'll just pop the threads through the middle, and I'll show you how to do that in a bit. So I'll be back with the next one. Our last flower, and I think it looks a bit like a sun shape, this one, where they've got it in. I've got 10 petals in for each flower, and we want 2 of these. So I've got half a strip of pink, and we are going to make a bended leaf shape. Is we're going to pinch it at either end to make the marquise like we have before, but then you just take your nails and then sort of just do a twist, and then you get it into this sort of S shape. Now we need 10 of those, so I've already made them. So all your petals need to be facing the same way when you're doing these. So just be careful, because you can do it so they're opposite, and they'd just look like those, like that, rather than having them go all the way around this way, but this is just how I want to do it. So because they are moulded already, you can just pop a bit of glue on and then pop the next one on. And then for the last one, you're just putting glue on either side. Just slot it in like that. You've got a lovely flower there. So, and then we just put some glue around again, and I'm using a half cup pearl. Again, if you want to either quill a centre or use the flower pollens, take it off. And there you go. Then just leave that to dry again. So that's our last flower, and I'll be back with the leaves that we need to make. This is our first leaf bunch that we're going to do. We need 6 of these all together. I've already got 5. When I was making them, I said to my husband that they look a bit like marijuana leaves. They weren't intended to be look like those, but that's just how these ones have turned out. So I'll put these to the side. So we need 5 of the marquise for each of those. So I've already got 4 already. Now when you're making these, you need to make a stem for the centre. Sorry for the noise in the background, my children are running around upstairs. So for the centre parts, I've just taken a full strip of green, folded it in half, and then I've glued down the centre and then stuck it together and let it dry, and you get this stiffer strip for you to be able to use for your stamens on your bunch of leaves. So bring one in so you can see what I'm doing. Right, so I've got a half strip of green. This is a dark green. Again, it's up to your watch. And have all these flowers that I've made. I could do these ones in my sleep. There we go. And again, just pinch at either end. So to start this one off, just snip a bit of the stem off. And then to start it off, I don't start with the top one. I start with the second row down, and then I'll put it right to the end of the strip. And then stick the other one at the opposite side, like that. So then you've got a little slot for you to put your top one in. If you've got a corkboard, you can pin them in place, so you can start with the top one. Because I'm not using it, I'm just doing it like this. Then just pop it in, and then the last ones just pretty much go out straight on either side. And there we go. And that's how you make your marijuana looking leaves. You might want to add some extra petals to it or something, or space them out if you don't want them to look like this. So I'll be back with the next flowers. This is the next set of leaves that I'm wanting to make. These ones remind me a bit of mistletoe actually. They're the same sort of shape that you'd see on a mistletoe plant. So again, I've just made some of the stamen before, and it's dry, so it's nice and stiff. And we need to make 4 teardrops for each petal, or bunch should I say. So I've got half strip of green, and pinch, and we've got teardrop. So now we bring our centre in and the 3 others that we need. Now, like we did on the last petal, I'm putting the stamen in between the top petals. It just keeps it in place. And then the next one's down, just with a little bit of gap. And there we go. So you need 6 of those. So that's it for the flowers and the leaf bunches. I'll be back to show you how to make the scrolls. And these are the final bits that we need to fill in our work on our Jemima project. I've got 3 made here. Now you can make as many of these as you wish. I'm just going to show you the process of doing them. I have done a video already showing you how to do these. So I'll fast forward through them. I'm just starting out with a strip, well, half strip of each of the colours that I've been using. And on these ones I've got different ones, colours on the centres, just so it's got a bit more variety. So like I said, I'll fast forward through this bit so it don't get too boring for you. all made. So I'll show you now how to put the stamens through the flowers now that they've dried. Now these are stuck together a little bit more. They're not completely fully dry, but you can do the process now. So I've got the pollens and the fully dry, so they're a little bit stiff, and then I'm just popping them through, and then the bits at the end stop it from doing that, not through the other side. Right, so just hold on to the back of it. You can use 3D glue gel or what's it called? Silicone glue. If you wish, if you want to fill that gap in, and then just leave them to dry, and then they'll be stuck in the centre like these, and they'll not go anywhere. So I'll be back with something else. Right, I'm back, and we've got all of our flowers made and they're looking fabulous. I can't wait to put these all together. I'll show you individually how many we need of each of these, because I can't remember whether if I said. So we've got 2 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those, 2, 4 of them, I'm knocking the camera, 4 of these, 2 pink, 2 purple, 4 of these little diddy blue ones. You can make some more in the other colours if you wish. I might do that once I've finished, depending on whether if I think the project needs them when I'm putting it together. I've got 4 of the larger ones, I've got 2 pink and 2 purple, 2 of these, 2 of the sunflower shape that looks like not sunflower but looks like a bit like the sun, and then we've got 6 of these, 6 of these ones, and I've made 4 scrolls altogether. You can make more or less if you wish. So that's everything ready for putting our project together, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!